if people had the confidence in your numbers and in the reality of the present, that violence, cruelty, and injustice actually is going down. It has further down to go, obviously, but we've got a record of success that we can build on. What would a society be like that was less fearful?
Yeah, I tend to think that contrary to the concern that if you publicize the progress that we've made, people will get complacent, it will desensitize people. I think it's the other way around, that there's a danger of compassion fatigue, of resignation. Human nature means we'll always be at each other's throats. Africa is a hellhole. What's the point of even trying to stop the violence? They'll always kill each other. When you see the graphs and you see it going down, you realize, well, no, actually, for whatever reason, we really, more and more of the world can be made more peaceful. We're doing something right. I tend to think that it empowers people. It certainly changed my own attitude when going over these
Say more
data.
about that. What do you mean? From what to what?
Well, I think I was more likely to say there's just nothing, nothing works. UN peacekeeping doesn't work. Democracy doesn't work. Because you can think of failures. Well, it didn't stop, the United Nations didn't stop the genocide in Rwanda or in Sarajevo. We tried to make Iraq a democracy, and look what happened there. And it is true that since all of these trends are statistical, there are counterexamples. The counterexamples are far more newsworthy than the success stories. You never see a guy in front of a camera with a microphone saying, here I am in Managua, and for the 23rd year in a row, there is no civil war. Or I'm at the foot of the bed of Jaime Garfinkel, and he's dying of cancer in his 87th year. Boring. Whereas if the same guy got blown to bits, you can bet that it would lead the news. And so because all of these trends are statistical, they haven't brought violence down to zero, there are always enough examples to fill the news. Since our cognitive assessment of risk is driven by anecdotes and examples, we're going to be under the impression that nothing works, even if the statistics massively show an effect of some intervention.
So you want statistical literacy to
Absolutely.
become the norm?
Absolutely. And I'll give you one example, because this is one, again, that people can't appreciate if they just think of the goriest incidents, and that is United Nations and other peacekeeping forces. Guys with the blue helmets who get themselves in between warring parties, or that help pacify a country after a ceasefire, prevent recidivism. Do they work? The answer from the statistical studies is absolutely. They work massively. A country is much less likely to fall back in civil war if they've got armed peacekeepers. And the better financed and armed the peacekeeping force, the more effective they are. So this calls for boosting, and here again the setting is appropriate.
1945, right here, signed the UN Charter. Thank you, everybody.
The United Nations does a number of things badly, but it does a number of things well, and one of them is peacekeeping on average, not 100% of the time. The headlines would never tell you that, only a statistical study would.